Okay, it's time for today's CSS battle. Let's see what we've got. Okay. I wonder what angle that is. I think our best bet for that is two overlapping conic gradients. So anyway, let's start with base template. We will set the very background to that. Then we'll do a conic gradient. Now then. Let's do it. Y start from 270 degrees. Y give it 75%. And then transparent for the rest. About 230. No. 20. That slope's not quite right. 210. Okay, that slope seems to match. 210 off of 360 leaves us 150. But really, we should just be able to do. No. 150. That doesn't. Right. How about 300? Then let's try shifting that up. How about if we do at 50% 0? Get rid of that for a minute. Okay, that's not the right angle, and we can see clearly that it's not. So let's go round a bit further. Oh, that might be the right angle. It's not quite. 21. 15, 16, 7, 217. Right, 218. Okay. Now then, it's a number of degrees round it's going to need to go. So it's going to be 360. Let's go with 2, 8, 3, 4, 2. Too much. 3, 2, 2. That will be exactly halfway. So, do. 302. About 2, 8. 287, 286, 284 looks very close. If we shift this up in pixels, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. 18 looks very, very close. Call that the triangle gradient. Copy that. Paste it in there. And we can do RT, RT 0 and 10 pixels down. 20 pixels, 30 pixels, 32, 33, 34. It still doesn't look like quite the right angle. About 218. 218 has got to be right. Ugh. Problem is, if you adjust one, it adjusts the other. So that is 218.5. $283 looks good. Then let's make that minus 20. Where are we? Needs to shift down. Still needs to shift down. Okay, 13 looks like that would be right. And if we just shift that, what have we got? We've got a little tiny triangle on top. Why have we got a tiny triangle on top? Am I actually adjusting the tiny triangle? That's not what I meant to do. Let's just semicolon there. Well, that's interesting. Where's that gone? Oh, still need the purple background. Right, okay. So that first triangle is probably okay. So now let's bring back in the second one. Why are we getting that triangle? Okay. Oh, bollocks. Yeah, the white probably shouldn't be white. That should be the other way round. So let's make this transparent, then this bit white. And that's far too high up. That looks quite close. Then this one wants to be 20 pixels down from it, I think. What have we got? Why is that starting at the very top? Hundred, 200, 300, 280. Okay. Okay. This is too far down. 4, 3, 2. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call that 6. That gets that outer line in the right place. Now, because we've actually got to swap the two colors, use that. We'll do that. Change that to transparent, and this to the purple, except that's not going to work, is it? Or is it? Actually, this bit is transparent. This bit is the purple. Okay, where is it? Get rid of that. Temporarily get rid of the top one. Why haven't I still make that? Oh, of course. Okay, this needs to match that line there. So 40, 30, 20, 18, 17, 18, 19. It's between 18 and 19. We'll leave it like that. Maybe change that to a Q and then make it 19. Close enough. And put this one back in. Then I think I've got these back to front. So this one needs to go underneath that one. Okay. I hate conic gradients sometimes. See, now that purple is this. How about we use transparent? Purple. Right, well, the second bit is right. That's right. I think we're going to need one more conic gradient over the top that is purple. And then transparent. Two, 1, 0. Let's have a look. Got minus 20. 2, no, too far. 18. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Right, at last. That's something like that bit and that bit. Then we're going to use a radial gradient at 50%, 100%. Purple for, what is that? 160 to 40. So 80, so 40. Then white 60 to 340. So 280. So 140 pixels for white. And then purple again. For the rest, we want a 1Q. And we want to move it minus 150 pixels. Not quite. 30. We're going to need to make this transparent, I think. Okay, that gets us another bit there. But we need to get rid of that bit before we do anything else. So before that radial gradient, we'll do a linear gradient. Purple 45% transparent. That did indeed get rid of the bit at the top. Now we just need the, oh no, it needs to come further down than that. About 50%. Bit further than 50%. That's also not. Or maybe not. 40. Yeah, 130 pixels. Is that wiping out 20 and 10? 100? Oh no. What we've got going on here. There we go. Then all we need is those two little straight lines. So 50 and what, about 20 high? Yeah. So we just do a conic gradient at 50 pixels, 20 pixels, transparent 75%, and then white. Give that a color stop. Then we shift it 170 pixels. That doesn't look quite wide enough, which is a shame. Let's make it 55. And then we want to make it what? 400 minus 55. No, 400. Yeah, 400 minus 55. So 345 pixels. Let's try using a 3. Okay, that doesn't look perfect, but let's see how close we are. $99.9. Okay, let's try 218, 218, 218, 284, 284, 284. I think that's going to be worse. That is worse. 2, 3, or 0.5 looks perfect. Good work. This bottom one actually even needed. No. Right. That circle. What happens if we change that to Q and make it 41, 42, 40? Oh, I think that was better as pixels. Okay, let's do filter blur 4.5 pixels. Give that a go. See, that made it significantly worse. 4.05 pixels. We're still at 99.9. So that's probably not the way to do it. Okay, so how else could we do this? Let's start blank again. This time around, we're going to use a P element. We're going to set this background to purple. Might be able to make a equilateral triangle. Could we do that? We do P. Normally you do that with a border trick, so we'd have to do 2 for each side. But we can cheat with a real with a. Okay, so let's make the first one. Right. Not how you do a triangle. How do you do a triangle in CSS? My brain's failing to work. You want bottom. The top left and right. Bottom is 0 pixels. Left is 20 pixels. All but one. And then we get rid of that. We get rid of that. We do border color. Transparent. 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 White. Well, that's close. Actually, that would probably do 30, 40, 50, 50, 50. You need to shift it a bit around. One 40, 150, 160, 170. Then make all of these bigger. 60, 60. I think what we've done here is, yeah, 90, 80. Okay. That looks about right. Now then. We do a P after content, nothing, position, relative, border, width, 0, height, 0, border, color, transparent, 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 bubble. Border width, 0 pixels, 100 pixels, 100 pixels, 80 pixels. Was hoping that would do absolute. Let's give this a position of relative. Why isn't that showing up? Let's try display block. just give it a background to see if I can find it. Doesn't look like it. Right, values. Get rid of the last two bits for a second. That's what I did before instead. Oh, there it is. That's 80, 20. Okay, now why are you not? Oh, because we haven't got a border solid. Well, that's interesting, but that's probably down to that. Let's also get rid of that. And then let's make this smaller. So let's go 80, 80, 60, 50, 40, 50. Okay, 80, 60. Probably would have been better off just using a scale, to tell you the truth. 1. So if we do 50, 50, 40, that might be about right. 50, 50, 40. That looks fairly close. Let's just that line is too big. Let's do 52, 53. How about 48 and 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 46, 47, 48, 40. I can't see what that one's doing. 46, 45, 40. Okay. 41, 42 is going the wrong way. 38. Okay, that looks fairly close. That's given us that shape. Right, we're going to call that one PT. We're going to use PT and PT before. We can get rid of that bit, that bit. Just leave those in. Now why has that gone wrong? Because I've now got a white. Why have I got a white? Oh, because this needs to be. Okay, let's just do P, move this into here. Actually, we'll move this into here. I think I can leave that in there. That is very close. 81, 82, 80, let's try 79. No, that's just going to stay that way. 293, 104, 102. Yeah, no, we're just going to leave that like that. All those bits need to stay there. And then if we do WebKit reflect, right, 50 pixels, 40 pixels. Okay, that gives us that bit and that bit. They look reasonably close. Just don't look too hard. And then we're going to use. I don't think I'm actually going to. Let's also take that out, that out, that out, that out. We'll do C width 200 pixels. Width 40, height 140. No, height. Let's make that 80 by 40. Let's temporarily give it a background of white so that we can see it. Give a margin of -0. Where is it? How about -200, 300? Then we need to shift it over that way. 50, 150. How close is that? Okay, that looks like the bounding box. We do border radius. One in, not. That should be fairly close to middle of that circle. We take off this background. Do border. Oh, this is not going to work. We'd need to hide. Oh, I think what we actually want to to let's get rid of that. Make its width 180. Let's just temporarily give this background again. Hopefully 50, 60, 70, 400, 410, 60, 52. Perfect. Got the height right. 220, 280. Then actually set this to a radial radiance, 50%, 100%, transparent, 40 pixels, white, what size we got? 280, so 140 pixels, then transparent. Okay, I'm not sure that this will be any better. That is 100%. My brain now hurts. These numbers are ugly. There's got to be a much nicer way of doing this, but I don't know what it is. Do I need that? Yes, yes I do. Because otherwise this absolute doesn't work. Do I actually need the absolute? No. Good, good. Because that'll default to relative and it'll be relative to... Yeah. Do I need the display block? Yes. Or do I? Oh, it does do some odd things if you... I wonder where... Never mind, let's leave in the display block because that does weird shit. This is definitely not one of my better solutions, but it worked. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I may well come back to it later. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.